This is one of the most famous historical sites in the world. The Acropolis of Athens, Greece is one of the defining places that still remains of ancient Greece. Sitting on top of a limestone hill high above the ancient city of Athens, the Acropolis is truly a sight to behold. The Acropolis has been around for thousands of years and truly became a staple of Athenian culture under the rule of Pericles when Athens was at its height. Pericles ordered massive projects around the Acropolis, including perhaps one of the most well-known ancient structures, the Parthenon. Today, you can visit the Acropolis in Athens and walk beside the ancient walls. It costs about 20 euros during peak season and 10 euros during off-peak. Are you planning on visiting here?
This is the grand entrance to the Acropolis in Athens, Greece. It's known as the Propylaea. It was built in 437 BC by Pericles, who was the leader of that time in ancient Greece. Yes, it was a democracy, but he took control and had these gigantic building projects. The reason he fortified the Acropolis even more was because the entire city was sacked by the Persians, and hence he wanted to build a grander, bigger Acropolis. But what does Acropolis mean? Akron means highest point. Polis means city. So this is the highest point in the city, and that's why we can see the entire views of Athens with a metropolitan area of more than 4 million people. This is domed in Doric columns. There are 3 types of columns. Doric, which are simple, usually don't have a base, and the top is very simplistic. Ionic, which we'll see right here at the temple of Nike, has a little bit more extravagant topping and has a base. And then Corinthian, which is much later, is very extravagant. So imagine walking here back in ancient Greek times. Now, everything that we're seeing here is white marble, but it used to be domed in beautiful color. But right here in this position, we have the temple of Nike, built around the same era. Nike is the goddess of victory, and it was built in honor of the victory against the Persians. But this did not come without controversy. Pericles was borrowing money from the Delian League, which was from an island in the middle of the Aegean Sea called Delos. That's where the treasury was, with all the city-states of Greece being a part of it. Since he borrowed it and brought it over here, the Spartans did not like that he was building these grand pieces of architecture. And thus started the Peloponnesian Wars. It devastated Greece. However, this stood the test of time. Let's walk and enjoy the views. And stay at the end of this video because you'll see where the money was placed. Excuse me. Right here, the Parthenon. That's where the money was placed. Stay curious, my friends.
Ancient Castle of Methone, Peloponnese.
These are the monasteries built like fortresses by monks who wanted to protect themselves from the Ottomans. Perched atop towering sandstone cliffs in central Greece, the Meteora monasteries have stood here for centuries. But why were they built in the first place? The first monks came here in the 9th century, seeking solitude in the many caves scattered on the cliffs. They would depend on the goodwill of locals to provide food and other life essentials. Then, in the 14th century, a monk by the name of Athanasios climbed on the second highest rock to establish the very first of the Meteora monasteries, known as the Great Meteoron. Only accessible by a rope ladder on the cliffside, these monasteries were not just places of worship, but also centers of learning and culture, preserving some of the most important texts and works of art of the Greek Orthodox world. Today, out of the original 24 monasteries, only 6 remain active, with about 50 nuns and 17 monks still living here to this day.
Look how magnificent this is.
The history of Meteora is a testament to the human spirit and the enduring power of faith. Stay curious, my friends.